All right, today we're diving into Tehran, but we're not just looking at it as a city on a map. We're going to explore it as an idea, what one source calls a metropolis of contradiction. It's a place that's really defined by this powerful, constant tug of war between tradition and modernity.
And look, this isn't some abstract idea you'd read about in a textbook. It's the very fabric of daily life in Tehran. This tension is something you can literally see and feel on the streets, in the cafes, in every single public interaction.
So what does that collision actually look like? Well, it's the friction between a rigid system of state control on one side, and on the other, the dreams and ambitions of a young, dynamic, and incredibly educated population. It's this constant push and pull that really shapes the identity of the entire city.
And this brings us to what we can call the Tehran paradox. So let's break down the two major forces that are pretty much in a constant competition for the soul of the city.
So on one hand, you have this vibrant, young population. They have modern, global ambitions, and they're just eager for connection and self-expression. But then, on the other hand, you have a rigid state system that's all about control and making sure its ideology continues. And these two realities are existing side by side every single day.
So how does this big, abstract idea actually become something you can see and touch? Well, in the day-to-day lives of people in Tehran, this paradox plays out as a very visible, very public tug of war.
Public life essentially becomes a space of non-stop negotiation. I mean, think about it. Cafes, universities, art galleries. These are all places where modern life and personal dreams are flourishing. But they all have to operate within this framework of state-imposed limits. Every single interaction involves navigating what the source calls these constant boundaries.
And you can see this friction everywhere. You can see it in the subtle ways people push the boundaries of official dress codes. You hear it in public speech. You see it in the media people consume. And you can feel it in just how they move through the city. These are the arenas where social limits are constantly being tested and, well, redefined. This whole complexity is also rooted in this really deep cultural fusion. The identity of a modern Tehran resident is layered. It's a blend of ancient Persian heritage. We're talking pre-Islamic rituals like Nowruz, the New Year, which is still a huge celebration. That's layered with Islamic traditions that shape public life, and then all of that is infused with modern global influences. It just creates this incredibly unique and dynamic cultural mix.
So who's driving all this change? Who are the key players pushing these boundaries from within? Okay, this is where the story gets even more fascinating.
Women. They are at the absolute center of this cultural negotiation. They're on the front lines, navigating and challenging the system in really profound ways, every single day. And get this, in many fields, women make up over 60% of university students. That creates this incredible paradox, right? You have a highly educated, ambitious female population living within a legal framework that places significant restrictions on them.
But they are not passive at all. They're actively redefining public life from the inside. They're a powerful force in science, in medicine, and in the arts, all while having to navigate these systemic constraints. They are, in so many ways, shaping the country's future.
And of course, technology is another huge agent of change. You've got this highly connected population using the internet and social media to connect with the outside world, creating these brand new forms for culture, fashion, and even dissent. And this digital world coexists with, and is constantly challenging, state censorship and restrictions.
So why is understanding Tehran so crucial for understanding Iran as a whole? It's because, as our source material suggests, the city really acts as a national pressure cooker. Our source uses that powerful metaphor, a pressure cooker.
Tehran is where all these social pressures, the push for modernity, the resistance to control, it's where they first build up and become visible. And what happens in Tehran rarely stays in Tehran. It pretty much sets the stage for the rest of the nation.
So ultimately, the city is a microcosm. It perfectly embodies the broader paradox of Iran itself. You have a nation and a civilization that's deeply modern and global in its ambitions, but it's constantly being held back by a system designed for ideological control.
And that leaves us with this final, crucial question. You have this modern, ambitious society inside a system that's literally built to constrain it. It's the classic case of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. So the real question is, what happens when that pressure just keeps building and building to a breaking point?